everyone, thanks for tuning back in to the United States Nationalist YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the subject of socialism in America. It is a very popular subject, socialism. It's an ideology that is spreading. And a socialist recently won a primary election. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a 28-year-old Democratic socialist. So let's get to the point. Even if all of the rich were taxed at 100%, there would still not be enough to pay for socialism. But that doesn't stop people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez fighting to implement socialism in America. She advocates healthcare for all, higher education for all, a federal job for all with $15 minimum wage, open borders, and expanded welfare. This is all going to cost America her very existence. The likes of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Cortez are going to plunge America into destruction. One only has to look to Venezuela. She even wants to forgive all of the student loan debt. How is she going to afford all of this? Who's going to pay for all of this? Not to mention, she wants to abolish ICE and weaken our military. And abolishing ICE is something the vast majority of Americans disagree with. But yet that doesn't stop Democrats from trying. Which comes to show that Democrats are way out of line with everyday voters. The leadership of the Democratic Party cannot think for themselves. These people are delusional, demented. They cannot think straight. Logic and reason is absent from their minds. And the sickness is spreading. The mayor of New York, de Blasio, wants to support Alexandria's proposal to abolish ICE. This is outrageous. The more this continues to spread across the body of America, the more it will come into reality. The more socialists continue to spread their ideology to the young minds of our nation, the more America's future is going to become socialism. And if we allow this to happen, we already know what's going to occur. You only have to look to Venezuela to see what will unfold in America with socialism. Venezuelans are rioting over food shortages. These people are brutally slaughtering their cattle. Anything in sight they are willing to eat because they are starving to death. It has the potential to become one of the wealthiest nations in the world. But because of its socialist policies, it is dragging itself into its own destruction. Children are starving in Venezuela. Nobody has anything to eat. Children are dying as a result of socialist policy, economic mismanagement. And yet, socialists in America want to continue to push for socialist policies. It makes no sense. And thanks to socialism, Venezuela's inflation is going to hit 1,000,000% by the end of the year, according to the International Monetary Fund. And simply put, a candy bar that cost $1 today would cost $10,000 by the end of the year. $10,000, one candy bar. All because of socialism. And over 1.5 million people left the country since 2014. People are leaving because of socialism. People in Venezuela do not want socialism. It is starving their children to death. It is causing riots. And still the media continues to lift up politicians like Alexandria Cortez and Bernie Sanders. People who want to make America socialist. Time and again, socialists are asked the question, how are you going to pay for all of this? How are you going to pay for all of these government services and programs? Who is going to foot the bill? And every time the answer is the same. Tax the 1%. The rich will pay for it.
But then the pragmatic side of it comes in, as you said. How do you pay for these? You always see people coming in with economic arguments. And they say, look, in order to get health care for everybody, this is what it would cost. That's going to be troubling. Even if you reverse the Republican tax deal, that's only going to make up 5% of what we need to pay for Medicare for all. You know, how do you pay for education for all? How do you pay for all of these ideas?
So if people pay their fair share, if corporations and the ultra wealthy, if corporations paid, if we reverse the tax bill, but raised our corporate tax rate to 28%, if we implement a carbon tax, that's an additional amount of a large amount of revenue that we can have.
And no matter how many times we continue to tell them, socialists will go on to ignore the fact that even if we taxed all of the rich 100%, we still would not have enough to fund socialism in America. They want to increase taxes so high on businesses that it would run them out of our country. Americans would flee our nation like people are fleeing Venezuela. Businesses would go in search of a tax-friendly country. Taxing businesses so high would run away jobs and spike the unemployment rate. Socialists claim to represent the interest of working Americans, but seem to do everything they can to destroy their jobs and economy. Socialism has never worked, and it will never work. It only brings with it death and destruction, pain and poverty. Think about it. They don't even understand economics. How are they going to have healthcare for all and open borders at the same time? How are they going to have open borders and housing for all at the same time? Or open borders and a federal job for all? How are they going to keep the minimum wage at $15 an hour when millions upon millions will come flooding our nation? It makes no sense. How will they create enough jobs, enough houses, and wealth for all of the millions who are going to come into our nation? Even if the IRS grabbed 100% of income over 1 million, the take would be nowhere near enough to pay for socialism. According to Paul Ryan, even 100% tax on millionaires would only fund 4 months of government operations. The socialist nonsense coming from the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders has got to stop. And the only ones who can do that are US nationalists. And if US nationalists remain silent and on the sideline, then America will fall. What we need today more than ever before are US nationalists to speak out and to run for office. Run for local, state, or national politics and do all you can to face off against the socialists. Run when the chance arises and unleash the weapon of truth, or support somebody who is running or speaking the truth. We can all help by supporting a US nationalist leaning candidate and their political campaign for office. Growing within the Republican Party is the spirit of US nationalism. And if we want to bring back the values of God, family, country, and freedom, then we're going to have to do it through the Republican Party. We can expect socialists to come back with a vengeance. They're not going to give up so easily, despite how irrational their policies are. So what we need today are US nationalists to take a stand, to come together, to make themselves known, to say it proudly and boldly, I am a US nationalist. Because in our society today, nationalists are condemned. They're looked down upon, when the fact is that a nationalist is simply a person who loves his or her country and the values within it. Our American values revolve around God, family, country, and freedom. And it's no coincidence that everything the socialists support go against God, go against family, go against country, and go against freedom. It's no coincidence because the socialist wants to destroy America for what she is, the land of freedom. But if we are to preserve America, if we are to preserve her values, US nationalists must raise their voice, take a stand, and participate in the nationalist movement, the US nationalist movement. Thank you. If you like what you heard today, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We're really trying to gain more viewers, and the more viewers we gain, the more encouraged we are to make these videos. So if you support our message, if you support US nationalists, please support our channel. Help us spread the word.